And we are live from the Darlington Raceway. Hello everybody and welcome to the Integrity Racing League 2021 season, round 19 of 33 here at Darlington. Good evening everybody and welcome to the TMG Racing Network. My name is Jonathan Oates and I will be bringing you all flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's 184 lap event here at the oddly shaped Darlington Raceway. This 1.3 mile track has played host to the NASCAR Cup Series since, I believe, around the 1950s. I don't have an exact year on that, but it's been around for quite a while, a very historic speedway. And tonight it will play host to the Integrity Racing League 2021 season, 184 laps ahead of these drivers. Quite the ways to go in this race, and also quite the ways to go before the playoffs. This, of course, being the, let me make sure I'm getting this right here. For a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh race before the playoffs. After tonight, we'll be going to Watkins Glen, Indy Road, Michigan, Daytona, Bristol, Richmond, and then Bristol for the last race before the playoffs. So 7 races to go, including tonight's race until we get to the playoffs. Why don't we take a look at the playoff picture? At the moment, it is Caitlin Height leading that playoff battle with 4 wins on the season. She easily cements herself as the #1 seed, but what we need to look at is that cut line battle. Right now, Jody Banfield is in by 32 points. Kevin Matz is out by 32 points. Michael DeWell out by 37. Alan Rowell out by 56. So a lot of those drivers looking for good runs tonight to try and get themselves closer to that playoff cut line. Kevin Matz, one of the drivers actually in the field tonight. He is starting in P20, looking for a good run that he needs to try and get himself closer to the playoffs. I don't believe Jody Banfield is in the field tonight, so this is going to be a pretty big hit for him. If Kevin Matz is able to have a good showing, it could be very important for him tonight. On the pole, it is the number 26 of Ethan Lane starting alongside Dustin Montgomery. We've seen these two go at it the past couple of weeks now. And we are going to see it again tonight after an off week following New Hampshire. Pace car is going to be in this time by Lane and Montgomery on the front row. Pace car is in. It's the Integrity Racing League season from Darlington. The field rounds 3 and 4. We're underway from the Darlington Raceway. Whoa, trouble off the start of the race already. Ethan Lane sideways, cannot get it going. The field scrambles as they go to turn 1. A lot of contact, and around goes DeWell. He saves it, keeps it on the apron. Everyone keeps it pointed straight, but that could have been disaster, narrowly avoided by the field. Everyone keeps it straight, though. Keeps it pointed in the right direction. It's Dustin Montgomery out front. Guillermo Alvarez, P2. Wetmore, P3. Ethan Lane, P4. Sam Nieto rounding out your top 5. This racetrack, of course, a very low grip track, not a lot of traction available on the racing surface, so you're going to see people slipping and sliding quite a bit, and if they slip and slide a little too much, they could find themselves in the outside wall. We have, however, already raced here once this season, and barring confirmation, I do believe it was, actually, you know what, I don't remember off the top of my head. It was Sam Nieto who won the race, so he is in the field again tonight. Not one of the full-time drivers in this series, but still a very fast driver when he does decide to show up. He is currently running inside the top 5. As this battle for the lead is starting to close up here with Guillermo Alvarez getting onto the bumper of Dustin Montgomery. So both of them go off into turn 1. Montgomery off that inside line, really arcing it through the center of the corner and diving it back down on exit. That's the line you want to take. Battle for third. Here comes Ethan Lane trying to recover from his early troubles as he gets around Tom Wetmore going into turn 3. Now the front two nose to tail for the race lead as Guillermo Alvarez gets the run off turn 4 and finds his gap down to 0.2 of a second, maybe even a little less as they go back to turn 1. We all know Montgomery, one of the best drivers on the long runs here. Still very early in this race, so plenty of time to kind of lay back and save some tires. No need to go too hard too early. Stages tonight at the conclusion of lap 50 and 100. If there is no caution by the end of stage 2, then a competition yellow will be thrown to bunch up the field. The lead continues to shrink a little bit, but Alvarez still not really in striking distance as they go to turn 1. Off turn 2. This battle for the lead, it could be pretty important as it can be pretty difficult to pass later in the run here as everyone gets a little more spread out. Even with a tire advantage, it can be quite difficult to find the track position on someone, so getting the lead now could be important, especially for a guy like Guillermo Alvarez, who's been having a bit of a rough patch lately in this league. It could be a good confidence booster to at least get some laps led here early on. Lap 6 underway. Alvarez looks low into 3, but cannot get the overlap to make it work. So Montgomery holds on for now. Probably just in a little bit of tire saving mode right now. I think Alvarez might be pushing quite a bit here early on, trying to get the lead. Back to turn 1. Alvarez gets off turn 1 quite nicely, or sorry, turn 1 and 2 quite nicely, and really gets a nice slingshot down the back straightaway as he tries to get to the bumper of Montgomery. You see going into 3, a couple of different lines there. Alvarez quite low on the racetrack, Montgomery quite high on the track. Off turn 4, coming to start lap 8. Still Montgomery showing the point. Still most of the field single file. No one really going for a pass. Can be quite difficult here at Darlington, though, with the lack of grip and the narrow racing surface. It can be hard to find a way around. With the way the line kind of changes throughout the corner, too, it can be pretty easy to overstep your boundaries a little bit and get into the door of someone, which is something that you want to try and avoid if you don't want to get your car too damaged. Rolling off into 3, I think Montgomery is just a lot more disciplined with his entry to the corner. We do have a caution. Kyle Vincent Gilbert involved, maybe. I think it might have been Todd Thomas gone around, and yes, it was. Front bumper missing for the 6 car brings out the first caution of the night. Oh, and it looks like he just lost it on his own out of turn 2. Might have scraped the wall a little bit. Whoa! Close call there with Michael Dwell. Oh, close call again as he nearly hit the inside wall. Wow, that got very close for him. Yeah, Todd Thomas goes around. It's a pretty easy mistake to make here if you just overstep it a little bit and you get a little loose. It can be hard to correct, and then around they go, pow, into the inside wall. Luckily, no one else involved, but it will be the first caution of the night. Everyone electing to stay out this time by. No one deciding to come in. I think it's still a little early to take one of your sets of tires. Tire limit for tonight's race is 4, so I'm guessing that means 4 additional sets of tires. I doubt there would only be 3 more for 184 laps. So the caution is out here on lap 11 of 184. Definitely a pretty exciting start to the race, and I imagine that excitement is only going to ramp up with everyone being on slightly warmer tires here, slightly more worn out tires coming to the restart. You just got to imagine if it's that hard to get the power down with fresh rubber, it can be quite a lot more difficult to get the power down once those tires are worn out a little bit. Think we might be going back green this time by. At least I hope we are. Caution is not a lot of. There's just really not a lot to talk about under caution, but it looks like I'm gonna need to for one more lap. Okay. So Darlington, why don't we go over some fun Darlington Raceway facts? What do they have on their website, do you think? If I go to the Darlington Wikipedia page, can I learn some fun facts to share with you all? All right, here we go. So it is located in Darlington, South Carolina. It has a capacity of 47,000. It is owned by the International Speedway Corporation. It is operated by the International Speedway Corporation. It broke ground in 1949, 72 years ago, and opened in 1950. Architected by Harold Brasington. It hosts the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The NASCAR Truck Series, sometimes. Turns 1 and 2 are banked 25 degrees. 3 and 4 banked 23 degrees. The front stretch is banked 3 degrees. The back stretch is banked 2 degrees. And according to Wikipedia, the race lap record is a 26.7 set by Eric Almirola on April 11th, 2014. So I bet you didn't know at least one of those things. I can imagine 2014 probably a good year for setting track records. A lot of horsepower, a lot of downforce, a lot of grip, a lot of speed. We're going back green this time by, so hopefully this start will be a little cleaner than the last one. If not, it's going to be a very interesting race. The field crawling their way into 3 and 4. Anyone got a pick to win this race? Go ahead and tell me. Or don't tell me. You don't have to tell me. That's okay. Pace car going to be in this time by. Here we go. Montgomery leads him through 3 and 4. Stacks up that inside line just enough to give him a jump. We're back underway. Back up through the gears they go. And a great start for everybody in the field. One side-by-side battle. That's for second as Ethan Lane gets around Guillermo Alvarez. Alvarez looking back low, but stays in line. Thinks better of it. Off turn 2 down the back. It's Montgomery, Lane, and Alvarez, your top 3. Alvarez looking to the inside for just a little bit, but now I have a feeling that we do have the 2 best cars in the field. Currently running 1 and 2. Ethan Lane looking like a perennial championship favorite throughout this season. A lot of battles going on in the back as well. Bit of a train forming up here behind Andrew Feisch. Maybe more behind Adam de Blasio than anyone. Oh, you saw Feisch getting a little bit wide there off turn 2, and that's going to let de Blasio look to the inside. De Blasio might have the pass done by the time they get to turn 3, but Feisch holds on. We got trouble. Cars on the wall behind. It's Schutzler and Tarabuck. They all stack up into each other, but they all keep it straight for now. But that's going to keep them stacked up as they go to turn 1. Gilbert and Dalton side by side. I think they're going to make it through cleanly. Gilbert gets sideways. Now Dewell rockets around the high side. Now into the wall goes Kevin Matz in front of Jacob Fife. Fife having to go low to avoid it. Now he'll be on the inside of Gilbert as they go to turn 3 as Matz goes for the wall again. Doesn't quite get to it. Now side by side off turn 4. Jacob Fife to the inside of Gilbert for 14th. Gilbert going to back out of it. So a bit of a stack up there, and we actually got another side-by-side battle for position as Michael Dewell looked to the inside there on Dalton. Keep in mind, Dewell needs a lot of points today if he's going to try and make the playoffs. It'd be a good opportunity for him to do it, as I believe he is currently on the outside looking in. Yes, he is, by about 37 points, so a good day today could be hugely beneficial to that number 88 car. Gonna have a massive run here off turn 2, and I think that Dalton might just be getting out of the way, not wanting to... Oh, trouble behind! Gilbert turned around to the inside wall. Matt's involved as well. No caution. We stay green, but I doubt we will stay green for long.
All right, man.
And there it is. Caution is out.
Caution is out.
I think it just... Yeah, it's got collected there off turn 2. Looks like Gilbert just got loose getting back on the power and might have just... Yeah, he just overcorrected it. Well, not really. He actually had it saved, and then Matz didn't quite get out of the way in time and got into him and turned them both around towards the inside wall, which brought out the caution for the second time tonight. Still, though, a very good save by Gilbert there off turn 2. Able to keep it out the inside and outside walls, and unfortunately it just got collected at the end. But still, kept it out of any walls and kept his damage to a minimum. So well done, Kyle Vincent Gilbert. So, under caution for the second time tonight, your top 3 have remained the same since the last restart. Montgomery, Lane, and Alvarez. No one electing to pit this time by, unsurprisingly. Except for, looks like we got one coming in, Jason Allen, new to the series, and also Jay Heischman. So 2 cars coming in, trying to take a bit of a gamble here, but see how that pays out. They're definitely going to have fresher tires than the field. I just worry that that's going to take a set away from them for the rest of the race. So, fun fact about the Darlington Raceway. I guess the track was originally supposed to be the same on both ends, but there's like a pond or something that kept them from doing that. In fact, I think it is modeled on iRacing. Why don't we... Don't want a pond update? Let's do a pond update. Let's see. Alright, let's see if I can find it. So if we zoom out here. I believe the pond is over in 3 and 4. Yeah, there it is. So because of that pond right there, they could not make the corners as wide as they needed to. And over there is the field. So just a little update as to why Darlington is shaped the way it is. It's because of a pond. Field doubling up this time by, so we are going to go back green, I believe, on lap 23. Or 22. My bad. Never mind, we're not going back green, so we're going to be under caution for a little bit longer. Alright, why don't we go over some NASCAR Cup Series records as of May 9th, 2021 at the Darlington Raceway. David Pearson holds the record for the most wins at 10. Richard Petty holds the record for the most top 5s at 25. Bill Elliott has the record for the most top 10s at 35. Richard Petty has the record for the most starts at 65. David Pearson has the record for the most poles at 12. Ricky Rudd has the record for the most laps completed at 17,582. Dale Earnhardt has the record for the most laps led at 2,648. The average start record is held by Fred Lorenzen with 3.7. And hey, how about this? The average finish record is actually held by Eric Jones at 5.2. So that's interesting. Ironically, the track also has the record for the shortest and largest margin of victory. With one of the records coming in 2003. That actually doesn't sound right. I think there's been some finishes closer than that, but I'm just going off of Wikipedia. So the smallest margin of victory, as listed on Wikipedia, is 0.002 seconds, set by Ricky Craven over Kurt Busch. I'm pretty sure that these are not all-time records, but they're formatted weirdly, so kind of hard to make use of it. Let's see. Oh, actually, yeah. So this track not only has the record for the longest margin of victory, but also the shortest margin of victory. So there you go. Makes me wonder if we'll see another photo finish tonight as the field gets ready to go back green. It's Montgomery, Lane, Alvarez, Nieto, and de Blasio, your top 5. A couple of new faces up here. Pace car is in. We're going to go back green this time by rounding 3 and 4. Green flag is back in the air. Back up through the gears they go. And it's a tentative start by everybody in the top 5, but it looks like everyone ended up getting away all right. Down to turn 1. Oh, Ethan Lane going for it on the high side of Montgomery. He saw the gap, he thought about sending it, and then he ended up sending it. Side by side for the lead off turn 2. They're making contact in the back. Ethan Lane not playing too safe early on. He wants this race lead. Through 3 and 4. Ethan Lane is going to take away the top spot. How about it? Up into the lead goes Ethan Lane. Well done. Battle behind as Fiash thought about sending it on Alec Daffin, but ended up backing out of it in the end. Once again, everyone getting back to their usual single file throughout the field. But well done, Ethan Lane. A great move to take away the lead from Montgomery. I do still think that Montgomery might have the long run advantage here over Ethan Lane. We've seen in races before just how fast that number 93 can be once we really get into a run. Although he did almost hit the wall there off 2, I think he might be a little bit uncomfortable riding behind the 26 of Ethan Lane. Might have been taken aback by his move on the restart because I don't think he was expecting it. And quite honestly, I don't know if Ethan Lane was expecting it either. It looks like it might have just been a bit of a spur-of-the-moment move, which ended up working out quite well for him. So the top 3 starting to spread out a little bit. Guillermo Alvarez, who was at one point running second, falling back just a little bit as they're side by side in a turn 3 and 4. Schutzler on the inside of Fiash. Gonna kind of squeeze him into the wall here. Not a lot of room here at Darlington, so you gotta make the most of it. I think he might have him clear off turn 4, but Fiash fights back on the high side. Back to turn 1. Schutzler pushes him up the track again, barely giving him a lane up top. Fiash fights the issue on the high side. Schutzler pushes back on the bottom. Dewell thinking about going 3 wide into turn 3, backs out of it in the end. Now they're 2 wide, 2 rows deep inside the top 10. Schutzler up the track trying to push him. Door to door as they exit turn 4. Lap 29 underway. And I think now Fiash is going to have him clear. Back to turn 1, he does have it. Now here they come off turn 2. Dewell and Fife going at it down to the apron. Fife not backing out of the move, but he ends up slipping up going into 3 and 4. That might let Heischman get to his outside. A little bit surprised at Jacob Fife's performance right now because we've seen him be one of the better drivers here at Darlington in the past, but he looks to be struggling a little bit right now. Currently running in 11th outside the top 10. As Ethan Lane continues to pull away with the lead. Oh, up the track goes Michael Dewell, nearly gets the wall off turn 2 and blocks Jacob Fife going into 3. But Fife is not going to have any of it and sails past him by the time they get to the corner. He is a full car in front. Up in a 10th goes Jacob Fife. So now Schutzler looking to put more pressure on Fiash here. A lot of these drivers who aren't necessarily fighting for a playoff spot. I do believe Schutzler is in by quite a bit. He's been quite consistent throughout the season. Actually, no, he is out by 121 points. So he does need all the points that he can get out of this race. But I think a lot of them, I think drivers that are that far out of the playoffs might be more focused on just getting good finishes and getting wins than they are fighting their way into the playoffs. Now Schutzler a little slow off turn 2. That's going to open up the door for Jacob Fife to look down the inside, but in the end he backs out of it, doesn't go for the move. Never mind, he's actually going to sail it into turn 3. And commandingly, Jacob Fife going to take away the spot from Schutzler. So Jacob Fife continues his recovery drive through the field, finds himself in P9. And a little up the track goes Andrew Fiash. Jacob Fife sees that as an invitation to go down the inside. Into turn 3. He's going to be half a car length ahead by the time they get into the corner. Is he going to be a full car length ahead by the time they get out of it? Going to drive it down to that white line, and yes, he is. Jacob Fife is now clear for P8, and he continues his charge through the field. Whoa, off turn 2. I think everybody in that that bottom half of the top 10, or sorry, towards the outer edge of the top 10, got a little sideways there and nearly tagged the wall. That hurt Fiash the most. Look at Schutzler getting to his outside, and Heischman as well. I think by the time they get to turn 1, Fiash would have lost 2 spots now. And I think that, yes, he will. So both of those spots down the drain for Fiash. 15 to go, stage 1 by the time they get back around to the line, and Ethan Lane is continuing to pull away with the lead. Whoa, off turn 2, up the track went Schutzler, and Heischman saw that as an opportunity to go down the inside. Side by side as they go into turn 3, and I think Heischman is going to have it. Yes, he is. Now Fiash going at it on Schutzler, so everyone here just kind of swapping positions around, but I don't think Fiash wanted to be side by side into turn 1, so he ended up backing out of it. So just looking throughout the field right now, I don't think much is happening, although there is a bit of a 4-car battle here. Maybe starting to get together behind Adam de Blasio. Tom Wetmore might be looking at a move on him, but he was not faster last time by. And here comes Alvarez looking to the inside of Tom Wetmore into turn 3. I don't think he's going to get the pass done this time, and Wetmore going to be able to hang on to the outside. Meanwhile, the gap at the front is 1.6 seconds as Alvarez's failed move on Wetmore is actually going to open him up to a pass by Daffin. So Daffin moves himself up into P6, and Alvarez might be starting to fall back here as Jacob Fife starts to run him down. You can just hear how much they have to play with the throttle through the corners to get this car planted. And Jacob Fife, one of the best drivers in the field at doing that, is showing that tonight. And that, I think, is going to be how he gets his way through the field. Look at him trying a new line there in 3 and 4. Just trying anything he can to try and get some grip. It's always what we like to see here on iRacing. People trying things out, people, you know, moving around a little bit, trying to find some grip. It's always fun to watch. And you can hear him really gassing it up ever so slightly through the middle of the corner, and once they get off the corner, gets back on the gas again. Bit of a wiggle out of Alvarez might open up the door for Jacob Fife to go down the inside, but for now he is going to stay behind. Now he'll look to the inside in the middle of 3 and 4. Alvarez not able to get down the track. Side by side as they go to turn 1. Fife's not going to back out of it. Alvarez will. Heischman goes through as well. And Jacob Fife now finds himself up to P7. As Sam Nieto has gotten around Dustin Montgomery for second. So now he can try and charge down Ethan Lane in the lead. Great work so far by Jacob Fife, working his way up inside the top 10, and in a few laps here might be looking at the top 5 as he tries to run down Daffin and Wetmore. But Jay Heischman putting on a good show as well. Ran faster lap time. He ran a faster lap last time by than Fife did. Heischman might be an underdog pick to get a good finish out of this race. We haven't really seen him competing at the front all that much this season. This could be his chance. Lap 41 underway. Coming around to lap 42 next time by. Heischman actually is all over the bumper here of Jacob Fife. He might go for it in a turn 1. He looked for it. He's going to look for it again, and he's actually going to go for it. Jay Heischman makes the move. He's up into 7th. So I was not expecting this out of Heischman because we haven't really seen him throughout the season being too competitive at the front, but right now he's putting on a good show. Watch out for Jay Heischman as we get through this race. Lap 43 underway. Looking at the lap times last time by, Ethan Lane remained the fastest car on track. I really doubt anyone's going to have anything for Lane, to be honest. I think Nieto maybe might be able to sweep the Darlington races this season if he really goes for it at the end of this race, but Ethan Lane has just proved himself to be so consistently fighting at the front regardless of what track it is, and I think that that's how he's going to try and win the championship come Phoenix. This gaggle of cars in the back is continuing. Trevor Dalton there as well. Dalton gets a little loose there off turn 2, and that might open up the door for Dewell, who has, well, quite honestly, not been having a great race tonight. He's currently mired back in 14th, and is, appears to be struggling quite a bit with his race car. And Dustin Montgomery is coming into the pits on lap 46. Could this mean that these drivers are a little bit short on tires, or maybe on fuel? Pitting now would, in theory, open you up for a 3-stop, because you could stop at around lap 50, then again at around 100, and then again around 150, but then again, he doesn't have quite a bit of damage to his right side, so he might just be coming in to either call it quits or get some damage repair. Pulls it into his box. Overshoots a little bit. Well, no, he is going for tires, so it looks like he is trying to pull an undercut here. Maybe trying to get back inside that battle for the lead. But right now, there is no battle for the lead. It's pretty lonely out there for Ethan Lane. Not lonely for Adam de Blasio, though, as he has Tom Wetmore getting closer to his back bumper. Blasio up the track a little bit. Wetmore has a run. Not quite going to be able to do anything with it by the time they get to turn 1. But de Blasio gets a little sideways at the top of the track there. Wetmore able to drive it off the corner better than the 85, but by the time they got onto the straightaway, de Blasio had the run. Another send into the corner by Wetmore. Oh, trouble! Into the wall goes Jay Heichman. Oh, that looked bad. He just sailed it off into turn 3 there and slammed into the wall. So that is not good for the driver of the 06. Another slide out of the 85 car lets Wetmore look to the inside, but in the end he is going to back out of it. Car on the wall again, and I do believe it was Heichman. So Jay Heichman having a rough go of it here in these past few laps. Tom Wetmore, though, looks like he's getting quite a bit more comfortable with his race car. He is finding himself setting some more competitive times here. Didn't look too on it earlier on in the race, but now he's really trying to run down these leaders. New paint scheme on board the number 51 for this week, made by Robert Dorman. But still, everything just kind of calm and peaceful at the moment. Not much is happening. Montgomery's out of the pits. He is going to be lighting up the timing charts right now, so honestly, he's taking about 2 seconds a lap out of Ethan Lane, so even that slight undercut might end up putting him in the lead, but then, of course, his tires are not going to be thanking him for it as Ethan Lane. A couple laps to go, won Stage 1. But just so you're all aware, yes, Ethan Lane is your Stage 1 winner. Just to make it official. Looking back off the bumper of Adam de Blasio. As Tom Wetmore pulls it off the racetrack, I think he might be coming into the pits. Oh, trouble! I think Jacob Fife decided to bring it in as well, but got a little loose getting onto the apron. But that's 2 more cars in the pit lane, and that is definitely going to start to trigger a maybe a bit of a chain reaction here, because whoever out of the top 3 blinks first, if their undercut is enough, they're probably going to get the they're probably going to at least leapfrog 1 spot, as Sam Nieto has really fallen off the bumper of Ethan Lane. But as of now, Lane stays out. Nieto might come in. We'll see what he does here in 3 and 4. No, he stays out as well. So does de Blasio and Daffin, so no one in the top 5 going for the undercut. But it really amazes me that Ethan Lane has pulled off this much of a lead. I mean, it's big enough now that if Sam Nieto came into the pits first, he still wouldn't have enough of an undercut to get around Ethan Lane. Because they only get about 2 seconds a lap. The driver I'd be more worried about is Dustin Montgomery. Still no one out of the top 4 pitting, so everyone must be pretty comfortable where they are on their tires and their fuel. Ethan Lane backing off the gas into 3. Not going to bring it in this time by. Will Sam Nieto bring it in? Doesn't look like it. Maybe de Blasio? Nope, still no one out of the top 5. Surprises me a little bit. I feel like someone might want to try and go for the undercut here, but no. Everyone just staying out. Lane stays out, Nieto stays out, de Blasio, Daffin. No one wants to pit. Maybe they'll be a little bit inspired by the number 93 of Dustin Montgomery, because right now on those fresher tires he is flying. Anybody this time? There we go. Sam Nieto, first to blink. Into the pit lane goes the number 2 car. You saw Daffin there sliding and into 3 and 4, and I think Nieto almost spun it on pit road. Yeah, big slide by Daffin, and I think that might trigger the rest of the field to come in. We'll see what Ethan Lane does here in a 3 and 4. But I just have a feeling that when you see someone like that coming in, I mean, you just know that you're leaving yourself vulnerable to the undercut if you stay out, but as of now, Ethan Lane might be comfortable with it because he is staying out. But Nieto is in, and I'm guessing the call is going to be 4 tires and fuel. Doesn't overshoot his box, gets it right on the money. Right side's going up. They're down, now left side's going to come up. He can go happily on his way. Ethan Lane, we'll see if he pits this time by. No, he does not, so now we might be getting into undercut range. Still, though, everyone just, I don't know. There's a couple of drivers that have come in, maybe trying to risk something on strategy, but I just feel like, I don't know. If I was one of these drivers, I'd try and pit a little early to try and undercut someone in front of me, but then again, I'm not out there right now, so I don't really know what the tire situation is like. I'm also guessing that pitting it around lap 50 might make it a little harder to do a two-stop strategy, because I'm guessing a lot of these drivers might be going for a 60, 120, 180 strategy where they maybe extend the first or second stint so they can get to that 184 number. So that's what makes sense to me, and I think that Guys like Montgomery might be catching themselves out at the end and needing to save fuel, but maybe they're hoping for another caution. That's what fresh tires will do. Just rocketing by there in 3 and 4. Alright, this time by. Is Ethan Lane going to come down? We're getting to the range where if you pit now, you will be able to just double this stint one more time and then be able to make it to the end. And I was right. Ethan Lane's bringing it down pit road. But I do believe this will give the lead to Sam Nieto. Good entrance by Lane. De Blasio brings it in. That leaves Alec Daffin out on track. Let's see the pit stop from Ethan Lane. Gonna bring it into his box in a couple minutes time here. His pit box is towards the end of pit road. But here we go. Right side's going up now. Right side's gonna be going down any second now. Left sides are up. It's about a 14.8 second pit stop by Ethan Lane. But I'm guessing that Sam Nieto, yep, here he is. Rocketing through 1 and 2, and by the time they exit turn 2, I don't think it's going to be much of a contest. Maybe it will be. I don't know, he's not as close as I thought he would be. Well, there we go. Sam Nieto takes the lead away from Ethan Lane. That's going to be how it cycles out on track. De Blasio gets back out as well, but take a look at this. Dustin Montgomery rocketing through turn 1 and 2, while Nieto is just now exiting turn 4. So this is giving Montgomery a massive lead. So now the top 4 are the ones yet to pit. Tom Wetmore escapes in second as well. Jacob Fife to third. So a lot of those short stops have really shaken up the running order quite a bit. Fife looks inside, but does not go for it into turn 1. Now Fife can have the run off turn 2. He moves to the inside. They're on equal tires, but Jacob Fife appears to have some better pace right now. And as they go into turn 3, I think Fife is going to fight it on the inside. Nice run through the center. But by the time they get off the corner, Wetmore's just going to get too much of a run for Fife to contend with. So back up to 6th goes Tom Wetmore. Fife going to try it again here off turn 2. But no, he does not go for it into turn 3. This is what I mean, though. Darlington is quite the tricky track to pass at. Despite Fife's, I guess, pace advantage at the moment, it's just going to be hard for him to find a way around. And all this fighting is going to let Ethan Lane close up to them quite quickly. By the way, Ethan Lane has already gotten back around Sam Nieto, because they did have around a 10-lap tire difference, so Ethan Lane ended up having that pace advantage and was able to get back around. Here comes Fife with a run off turn 2. He's going to go to the inside. He's going to try what he did a couple laps before as they go into turn 3. This time he draws even with the 51. But I think that high line is going to be too much to contend with. Tom Wetmore off turn 4. Got a little tight there. Almost grazed the wall, but he is going to be able to clear Jacob Fife. Another run by Jacob Fife. He's going to move himself over to the left-hand side. No, he doesn't. He stays in line for now. Thought he'd go for it in a 3, but I think he thought maybe I don't know. I don't really know what he thought, but he decided not to go for it. And these two, by the way, are currently catching Dustin Montgomery with their tire advantage, all of whom are being caught by Ethan Lane in fourth. Alvarez pits from the lead, so he is looking to extend his first stint, maybe going for a tire advantage at the tail end of it, as Montgomery nearly hits the wall. Here comes Wetmore now with a run out of 3. These top 3 are going to be all over each other in a couple laps' time. Actually, it might be more. It might be more like this lap, because right now the gap between them is all about the same between every car. Sideways off the corner is Dustin Montgomery, and Tom Wetmore moves to the inside. Not going to go for it in a 3. Maybe he will now. Not quite. They're all stacked on top of each other. No one really has a way to go, and Ethan Lane is being dragged into this fight from 4th as well, as Fife gets loose off turn 4. Now here comes Wetmore to the inside of Montgomery, but does not go for it. Now he does. Into turn 1, Wetmore is on the inside, and I think he's going to clear him this time by as Ethan Lane drives past both of them as well. And now by the time they get to turn 3, it's Wetmore over Lane, but now Lane moves to the inside, and I think by the time they get to turn 4, it'll be Lane over Wetmore. So 2 lead changes, 1 lap, and in the end, Ethan Lane's the beneficiary. Out in front is that number 26 machine. And as they did a week ago, Lane and Wetmore now find themselves 1-2 in the race. And Tom Wetmore gets a little slow off turn 2. Jacob Fife down to the inside as they go to turn 3. Fife going to sweep on over to the left-hand side, and he is going to take away the second spot. But a great charge through the field for Jacob Fife. He started the race all the way towards the tail end of it. At one point was outside the top 10, and now he is going to be fighting for this win come the end of the race. He already won at one of the low-grip tracks early into the season at Atlanta. He is looking to do it again tonight. So now your top 3 is Lane over Fife over Wetmore. In this top 3, the driver with the freshest tires would be Ethan Lane. So it looks like for now it's going to be a surefire Stage 2 victory for Lane. But all these different strategies are going to be very interesting as the track position varies at the end of the race. Especially with guys like Alvarez able to go so much longer than everyone else on those tires. Because Alvarez finds himself on the lead lap with 4-lap-old tires compared to Ethan Lane's 12-lap-old tires. Still not halfway through this race. It's going to be a little while yet, but we've seen quite the interesting strategy battle so far, and also some fun Darlington facts. So there's that. Lap traffic ahead of Ethan Lane now, but he's got a 3.5 second advantage over Jacob Fife in second. So we got a battle for... Oh! Montgomery is pulling it in again. So I don't know what kind of strategy he's going for, but alright, man. We'll see if this is him retiring from the race or if he's just decided to pit again for tires. I don't really know why he'd do it, but I don't know. Alright, well, we'll see how that pans out. If he ends up winning this race, I guess you all know why. As Ethan Lane continues away in the lead, he has gotten around the lap car of Jay Heichman, and it is smooth sailing for quite a ways in front of him. Taking a look at the battle in the kind of midfield, but not really. Tom Wetmore right now holds that third place spot. Sam Nieto is running him down with 5 lap pressure tires. Nieto looking to find his way into a second Darlington win this season as Tom Wetmore scrapes the wall in 3 and 4. And that's going to make Nieto's job all that easier as he gets around him by the time they get to the start-finish straight. So up in a third goes Sam Nieto. He's going to get another great run here off turn 2. Might go to the inside by the time they get to turn 3. Yes, he will. Nieto to the inside of Fife, and now he's going to take away second. So Nieto has gotten his way all the way back up inside the top 2, but unfortunately has another 7.3 seconds to get to Ethan Lane, who is, by the way, on fresher tires. So I don't think that's going to happen. It might be the Ethan Lane show for a while here. Well, we have lost the, and we have lost Dustin Montgomery. He is out of the race. So I guess that second pit stop was just to take him out, and he did decide not to continue in this. Currently on lap 83. Oh, and into the wall. Tom Wetmore in 1 and 2. And that is not a good place to hit the wall. That's the highest speed part of the track, and that's going to be a lot of damage to the right-hand side of the 51 machine. Well, back up front, it is Ethan Lane just doing his thing, leading away. He's been doing this quite a lot lately, and this might just be helping establish himself as a championship favorite, if he wasn't already one of them. Kind of driving around up there. He got a new paint scheme recently, which I think is pretty nice. Why don't we go for a little bit of a playoff update here? Because while Ethan Lane is leading away, going for his 3rd win on the season by quite a bit over 2nd place Sam Nieto, a lot of other drivers are out here racing for other reasons other than the win. Michael Dewell, of course, is one of them, who came into this race 37 points back at the cut line and unfortunately finds himself 5 laps down in 13th. Kevin Matz also came into this race below the cut line, and he... okay, I'm sorry about that. And he is currently in P16 and out of the race, so not a good run for anybody outside the cut line, but since they did show up, unlike Jody Panfield, that is still going to help them out a little bit in the playoff standings, as now I do believe Mike Dewell has called it quits. Why don't we take a look at some of the paint schemes in tonight's field? A lot of nice paints out here, starting with, of course, your race leader, Ethan Lane. Very nice black and white high-performance motorsports design. I'm quite a fan of it. Let's go ahead and pull up the official paint scheme camera of TMG. There we go. Beautiful. Then we got second place, Jay Heischman. Well, not second place. He is actually quite a ways back from second place, but he's the first car I got when I went back. Quite a nice black, purple, and gold Chevrolet Camaro. I like it quite a bit. Sam Nieto in the Brad Keselowski Ugly Christmas Sweater paint scheme. Unlike the name suggests, it's actually quite nice. I don't think it's ugly at all. I like the spec map on it as well. Adam de Blasio running a Jeff Gordon throwback along with some pictures of his cat, which I find are quite nice. Trevor Dalton in the Kyle Busch throwback. Always a nice scheme. Andrew Fyash. It's kind of a generic 08 car. Not bad. I think it's one of the iRacing templates, so I'd give it a solid 5 out of 10. Jacob Fife in the iconic number 36 PPG Paints Chevrolet Camaro is currently getting passed by Alec Daffin with another very nice paint scheme in the field. It was, I believe, new to Atlanta 2 weeks ago, and I think it looks quite nice. You see Daffin getting a little loose there through 1 and 2. He's not been the kindest through to his right rear tire throughout the races. Now that's going to hurt Jacob Fife's momentum off turn 2. Take a look at Tom Wetmore kind of gaining onto his back bumper. Wetmore is just really good through the center of the corner. You saw it there in 1 and 2, and I think you're going to see it pay off here out of turn 2. Big run by Wetmore, moves to the inside. And going into turn 3, he's actually going to back out of it. Now he moves over to the inside. Can't quite get the overlap he needs into turn 1. Turn 1 isn't the best spot to pass anyway, so I doubt that's where he'd want to make his move. Lap 93 underway. We are past halfway now here at Darlington, as Wetmore nearly gets the wall there in 3 and 4. Now here comes Wetmore to the inside as they go into turn 1. Bold spot on the track to make a move, and you see why. Wetmore just gets a little sideways trying to keep it under the 36 and is not able to make that move work. Now Nick Tarabuck starting to get onto the bumper of Tom Wetmore. Tarabuck, one of the drivers who has gone winless so far this season. He's going to show his hand to the inside line, and going into turn 3, Tarabuck going to drive it onto that white line, or at least dashed white line on the inside, and is going to power his way through the center of the corner. But off turn 4, Wetmore's actually going to let him go. So Nick Tarabuck finds himself up into P6. Good move by him, and he does have fresher tires than Jacob Fife by about 13 laps. So we could see Nick Tarabuck start to move his way through the field. Here comes Tarabuck to the outside. He found just enough of a gap between Fife and the outside wall to make that car stick. And in the end, he was able to find himself up into P5. So Nick Tarabuck now up into the top 5. I really was not expecting him to find the gap there on the outside. So well done, Nick. Up inside the top 5, Alec Daffin has found his way to the bumper of Adam de Blasio. The number 48 car trying to get third away from de Blasio as they go into turn 3 with a lot of lap traffic in front of them. We are starting to get to the point where some drivers might consider making their second stops of the race. Whoa, sideways off turn 4. Daffin has been hanging that car out the entire race. The right rear on that car, I'm guessing, is quite shot by now, but he's been able to make it work and has found quite a bit of pace in that thing despite how sideways he is. Now he's falling off the bumper of de Blasio quite a bit, so we'll turn our attention back to Jacob Fife and Tom Wetmore as these drivers come around to go into 3 and 4. Wetmore now looks to the outside. Fife hangs low. Wetmore trying to do what Fife let me try that one again. Wetmore trying to do to Fife what Terrebuck did to Fife, but he did not have the speed to do it on this occasion. Might try again this time by. Fife up the track, Wetmore to the bottom, and I think now he might be able to sneak his way through on the inside. Yes, he is. Jacob Fife up to P6. Or sorry, Jacob Fife down to P7. And Tom Wetmore's up to P6. There we go. And Alec Daffin has found his way around Adam de Blasio. Why don't we take a look at how that happened? Oh, and right there in 1 and 2. De Blasio got a little wide, opened the door for Daffin. And Daffin found his way through. Nice move, Alec. See some of these drivers kind of toying with the apron there off the corners, trying to use it to their advantage, load up those right sides a little more, get the car to turn. It can definitely be a strategy, although this scan on iRacing is a little outdated, so the apron isn't quite as beneficial as it would be in real life, which unfortunately does narrow the racing surface quite a bit. Oh, Fife up the track a little bit there off turn 2. Nearly got in the wall. Car on pit road now. It's Christopher Schutzler in the 24. So we'll see if he's going for a 3-stop strategy. Which I'm guessing he is if he's coming down at around lap 100. I don't think you could make the rest of the race like that. Now Fife back to the inside on Tom Wetmore. Wetmore going to let him go. And I'm not sure what happened to Wetmore there. But it looks like he was pretty slow there coming off turn 4 down the start-finish straight. Why don't we take a look at it? And Wetmore might have just overstepped it a little bit. No, he didn't quite overstep it. I just think that he got a little loose. That kind of hurt his momentum, and that gave Jacob Fife the opportunity to go down the inside. Fife happily took it, and he finds himself back inside P6. Oh, car on the wall, turn 2. Trevor Dalton slams the outside wall coming out of turn 2, trying to get out of the way of the leaders. Or rather, Christopher Schutzler. And we got another car coming onto pit road. It is Jay Heichman, but this gaggle of cars all has to deal with the lap traffic. Contact! Into the wall goes Jacob Fife. After contact with Christopher Schutzler, that'll put Tom Wetmore back into P6. Disaster for Jacob Fife. And he might be pulling it off now. Take a look at a replay. Schutzler was going through on fresh tires, and I think Fife might have gotten a little loose and just didn't quite give him enough room, and that shot the 36 into the wall. Wetmore luckily stayed out of it. And then trying to get the power back down, he got loose again, and almost went around on the front straightaway, but ended up keeping it straight. Oh, but maybe not anymore. He gets sideways coming out of pit road. He does keep it straight, though, so Jacob Fife is able to make it to pit road out of harm's way as Alvarez gets lapped by Ethan Lane. The field has now been lapped up to P6. Why don't we go on board for with Ethan Lane for a bit here? And you can just hear how disciplined he's being on that throttle pedal. He's being so gentle with it as he gets back to the gas, and I think that's what's helping him stay in the race lead. He's not being really jagged with his inputs. He's being very smooth, very conscious of his right rear, and I think that's why Ethan Lane has been so successful in this race, and particularly at these low-grip racetracks like New Hampshire, like Darlington, and like Atlanta last week. But Ethan Lane has not won in a while. I believe it was since Pocono the last time that Ethan Lane went to victory lane. No pun intended. So Ethan Lane looking to go back to victory lane for the first time since June 28th of this year. I think I might have heard a car in the wall there in 3 and 4. We have now lost everyone 10th on down. This has been a bit of a race of attrition out there. Oh, trouble, front straightaway, Trevor Dalton. He is around, and that might have been the noise I heard. Let's take a look. Yeah, just a little too unsmooth with his throttle pedal. He slams the wall, slides down the track, and into the inside wall goes the number 92 car. So how about that Ethan Lane? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Something's happening. I think Alec Daffin... Yes, he is! Alec Daffin is pitting. So Daffin comes down pit road. 4 tires and fuel for the 48 car, and this might just kick off a second round of green flag stops. We'll see. Daffin a little bit late in his box, but he was able to barely get in before the line. Left side's going up. Left sides are down. Daffin is down and away. But Ethan Lane continuing to lead through turn 1 and 2. Nieto P2, Tarabuck P3, de Blasio P4, Nick Tarabuck currently in the 3rd spot. He has, like I said, not won a race yet this season. But he does have the freshest tires out of anybody in the top 3 and is slowly reeling down Sam Nieto. So maybe Tarabuck could be a decent pick for the win here. It'd be a long shot, but it could happen. You never really know. So Nieto in P2, Tarabuck P3, chasing him down. He did run faster last time by, not by much. Tom Wetmore now trying to get around Adam de Blasio. Wetmore is running him down, so 2 battles on track kind of coming together all at once here. as we are getting closer to where I'd expect Ethan Lane to pit, as de Blasio slides it through turn 1. Oh, he's going to slide it even more off turn 2, and around he goes! Good save by de Blasio, but that is easily going to hand the spot to Tom Wetmore. Now de Blasio getting passed by Daffin. I'm honestly really impressed with Nick Terbuck. He's done a great job in this race, and I mean, he might be looking at a P2 here. Down to turn 3, Nick Terbuck riding out of the left rear quarter panel of Sam Nieto. This is the battle for second. You know, out of the cars still running, Nick Terbuck has the second lowest I rating, and right now, he is fighting for second. I think that just goes to show that Darlington is a track where regardless of your success anywhere else, or actually then again, that could also just be he doesn't run a lot of official, I don't know, situation. But you know, I think it just goes to show that if you're disciplined here at Darlington and you're able to keep your car out of the wall, and when you do get into the wall, you're able to get back going, I think it just shows that it is possible to get a good result. And that's what Nick Terbuck is going for right now. He's done a great job all race, and I'd love to see him try and get a win out of this. Nieto wide off turn 4. Here comes Terbuck to the inside. A little bit of a side draft. Nieto backs out of it, and Nick Terbuck is up in the top 2. Well, right now, the top 3 are the only drivers on the lead lap. Make of that what you will. One of them, of course, being your race leader, Ethan Lane, who has been flying throughout this entire race. No one has been able to hold a candle to his performance so far. And on one hand, it's impressive, but on the other hand, come on, Ethan, you're stinking up the show. All right, let's see if anyone decides to pit this time by. Tom Wetmore comes out of the pits right in front of second place Nick Terbuck. Top 3 all stay out. But Adam de Blasio is having more issues. He gets sideways coming on a pit road. He is able to make it down into the pit lane with no further complications, I should say. But Ethan Lane, just so impressive so far. I mean, he's been really patient on the throttle, really patient on the steering wheel. That's what's paying off right now. A lot of short run pace, a lot of long run pace. Well done, Ethan Lane. So a couple of drivers have come in to fit new tires, those being everyone outside the top 3. So I think we don't actually only have 3 cars on the lead lap. I just think that that's how pit stops have worked out. And now Ethan Lane from the lead comes into the pits. Nieto and Terbuck both stay out, maybe hoping for a caution to bail them out, but to be honest, I don't think anyone's going to have anything for Ethan Lane. Even if you undercut him now by like 10 laps, you'd still be behind him because he was 17 seconds in front of even second place at the last point of that. So Ethan Lane brings it into his box. and brings it out of his box. A successful stop for Ethan Lane. But now that does hand the lead to Nick Tarabuck, who stays out on track. Sam Nieto does not. He comes into the pits, and that unfortunately is going to put Nick Tarabuck open to quite the undercut here. I think Nieto, even with that one lap undercut, is going to be pretty far out in front. But I think Nick Tarabuck might actually be trying to extend this second stint and try and get a tire advantage to the end to maybe have something for Ethan Lane, or not, because he is coming in this time by. So now your top three have all pitted. Led the class of the field all night. Alec Daffin with the about a 13-lap undercut gets within the same corner of Ethan Lane, but in the end, I don't think that's going to mean much. Nick Tarabuck down and away. Well, not quite. Still got to do the left sides. Ethan Lane takes back the lead. Daffin goes through to second. Nick Tarabuck is down and away. So we'll see who comes out in front, Nieto or Tarabuck. Jacob Fife with a mega undercut on both of them by about 20 laps is going to get that spot provisionally. So Fife goes through to third, but this is the battle we got to watch out for. Watch for that pink car on the apron. Who's going to come out first? It's going to be Tarabuck by a long shot. So that, I think, however he got down to pit road was a lot better than Sam's method, and he stays in fourth with one lap fresher tires. The undercut has not worked out for Sam Nieto, but it has worked out for Alec Daffin, who finds himself in P2, and Ethan Lane didn't need to undercut, didn't need to do anything fancy. He is far and away the best driver out here. And now only 9 cars left in the race. My oh my, this is truly going Ethan Lane's way.
Alright, man, caution.
Oh, caution! We got trouble! Somewhere on the track, someone has gone around, and it's Jacob Fife. Well, I guess I jinxed it when I said it, that everything's going Ethan Lane's way. Let's take a look at what happened. And he just overstepped it a little bit back on the power, and around he went in front of Nick Tarabuck. Luckily, avoided damage. That's a decent hit to the inside wall, which knocked in that front nose. And that brings out the third caution of the night. So now we'll see who pits and who doesn't, but I think more importantly, this is going to put Alec Daffin up to P2. So the undercut by Daffin did end up working out. This is exactly what he needed to potentially put himself in a position to contend for the win here. Good strategy by Daffin, and mixed with a little bit of luck. It's probably going to be what you need to beat Ethan Lane, because I'm guessing now everyone's going to come down pit road for what would be their second to last set of tires. No, actually, Ethan Lane stays out. That's an interesting call. Well, I guess it makes sense, but... Huh, okay. Well, it's not going to put Daffin in P2, but it's at least going to bunch him up with the field. Now everyone's going to be on a somewhat level playing field. Wetmore brings it in as well. I'm guessing most people here are going to dive it down pit road. But with the amount of cars we have left in this race, I mean, that is going to kind of put Daffin in a position where he has 4 to 6 lap fresher tires than everyone and is decently close to the lead. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. So under this caution, I guess I'll go and give you all a bit of a full race update here. Ethan Lane has been completely dominant the entire race. He is pretty much led from start to finish ever since, or not, well, okay. He hasn't led start to finish, but he got the lead from Montgomery on a restart on around lap 30. Montgomery has since dropped out of the race, and Lane has really had no challenge. Nick Tarabuck has found himself in a very good spot here after charging his way up to P2. Sam Nieto, winner of Darlington earlier on in the season, finds himself in third. Alec Daffin gonna have fresher tires than everyone inside the top four. And starting the highest up starts P4. Adam de Blasio getting fresh tires on pit road right now, going to be restarting just inside this top 9. 9 cars left in the race. Not many, but it's definitely been a bit of a race of attrition here. This, of course, is our third caution of the night, coming out for Jacob Fife, spinning out of turn 2. Well, definitely a bit of an interesting situation here as we're going to go back green. I don't know how much of a difference 5 laps on tires is going to make here at Darlington, but it appears to be a pretty hot and slick day out, so could make something. For the purposes of entertainment, I think that'd be pretty fun. Fuel doubling up now. We are going to go back green on lap 135 of 184. We'll mix it up a little bit. Let's go and go with the blimp cam for this restart. Maybe I should zoom it in a little. Alright, blimp cam, yeah. Blimp cam. Woo. Alright, pace car is going to be in this time by. Rest of the field getting caught up. Lane, Tarabuck, your top 2. Daffin on fresh tires. Green flag is back out. We're back underway.
Green flag, green flag.
And a great restart by Ethan Lane. Not a great restart by everyone behind. Nieto going to be the first to turn 1 out of that gaggle of cars. Tarabuck and him going to stay side by side. Tarabuck rallies back on the high side, and I think by the time they get off turn 2, Tarabuck might have the advantage over Nieto. Yes, he will. Great drive off the corner for Tarabuck on a career run right now. Looking to go for the win here.
All right, man. Caution.
Caution, we got trouble again. Daffing around, back straightaway. Looks like he just drifted up the track a little bit. And yeah, made heavy contact with Tom Wetmore, kind of forced him into the wall and ricocheted himself off the track and into the inside wall. So fourth caution of the night is out. Daffin lucky to not hit that inside wall and receive only minimal damage on that number 48 machine. But unfortunately, that is going to kill his tires quite a bit, so you can say goodbye to that tire advantage for him. But what it will do is give the rest of the field a nice reset here to try and get the restart a little bit better. Well, now this changes things, I guess, a little bit. Ethan Lane off that last restart has a little bit of damage to his rear bumper. I don't think it's going to make a difference. Looking at the tires of everybody in the top 5. Right now, the freshest would belong to Adam de Blasio with only 4-lap old tires. Everyone else, well, de Blasio also pitted under the last caution. Out of the drivers that did not pit, Nick Tarabuck has a 2-lap tire advantage on Ethan Lane, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. We'll find out, though. Guess you never know. Alright, I think we're going to get lights out on the pace car this time by. We can go back green, and now it'll be up to the field to try and get a good restart and hang with Ethan Lane, because if you can get on that driver, on that leader's outside through turn 1 and 2, you can get a great slingshot down the back straightaway. Are the lights out on the pace car? I don't really know what's going on here. Everyone's just kind of hanging out. Are lights out? I don't think so. Yeah, nope. We're going to be under caution for one more lap. Or probably 2 more laps, actually, because this one and the next one. But then we'll go back green. It'll be up to the rest of the field to try and get a good jump here on Ethan Lane and stop him running away with the lead into turn 1. So, pace car going to be in this time by. We're going to get a restart. See what Nick Tarabuck can do. I honestly think that if anyone's going to be able to stop Ethan Lane, it's Nick Tarabuck. He has really stepped up his game in this second half of the race. Let's see if he can execute on it. Here we go, pace car's in. Coming into the restart zone, it'll be Ethan Lane leading him back down. Green flag back in the air.
Green, green, green.
Bad restart by Nieto, got a little bit of wheel spin there, but still able to draw even with Nick Tarabuck as they inch their way towards turn 1. Nieto down into the corner, trying to get away the spot from Tarabuck, but you're going to see here on exit that inside line just can't really compete with that outside line, although if Nieto tries hard enough, he can get clear. Tarabuck hangs on his right rear as they go down the back straightaway. A little bit of side draft going on. Into 3 and 4. Tarabuck pulls through on the outside. Nieto up the track. A little bit of contact as they make their way off turn 4. Down to turn 1. Tarabuck going to be the first to get to it. And Nick Tarabuck up into second. Whoa, trouble, turn 2. Sam Nieto makes a little bit of contact with de Blasio. That'll stack them all up and let Schutzler look to the inside on de Blasio. Nieto loses out big time. Now Wetmore looks to the inside. Side by side off turn 4 between Daffin and Nieto. A little bit of contact. Wetmore looks low, but backs out of it by the time they get to turn 1. 42 to go. Daffin looks up the track, got backed out of it by the wall, had to check up a little bit. Now Nieto moves down to the inside. Sam Nieto lost out a lot of positions on that restart. He might need to be on a little bit of a recovery drive right now if he's going to try and get back into that top 5. So now Tarbuck starting to make some inroads on Ethan Lane. He did run a slightly faster lap last time by. Adam de Blasio is up here as well. De Blasio looks low. He might have a shot at Tarbuck here in a turn 1. De Blasio looked for it, did not go for it. So Tarbuck holds on to P2. Tarbuck is running down Ethan Lane, though. I mean, he ran about a 10th faster last time by. Tarbuck could be onto something here. De Blasio looking low again out of turn 4. But really, if I'm Nick Tarbuck, I kind of want De Blasio to chill out a little bit here because I'm trying to run down the leader, and he's not really helping with that. Back to turn 1. Blasio looks for it again. This battle for second might start to heat up in the next couple of laps here because if Tarbuck can't get a move on and get towards Ethan Lane, which he has not done yet, that's going to put him vulnerable to De Blasio. De Blasio down to the inside, down to turn 1. I think he is going to be able to draw even, but Tarbuck holds on to the high side. Whoa, in a 3, De Blasio into the wall. He got very close to it indeed. Well, no, he didn't get close to it. He actually went right into it. I think he might have gone into the corner a little too deep and didn't want to get into the bumper of Tarbuck, so he kind of bailed out of it, but ended up just putting himself into the wall. So not a great situation for De Blasio to be in. That's going to cost him some time. And a little bit of right side damage as well. So we turn our attention back to the battle for the lead as Ethan Lane is about 1 second in front of Nick Tarbuck, maybe 1.2 seconds in front. Kind of teetering around there at least, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think Nick Tarbuck has what it takes to run down Ethan Lane. Just not sure he has the pace or really the time to do it. We're closing in on 30 to go. So 34 to go. I don't know. To be honest, I don't see anything changing between now and the end of the race. As well, Schutzler got in the wall there. That'll give Sam Nieto P6, but I don't see anything really possible happening here. I mean, Tarbuck is quite a ways off Ethan Lane and doesn't appear to have the pace to run him down. Guess you never know, but I just find it highly unlikely. This is definitely a race that Ethan Lane can be proud of. I mean, he went out here today, completely demolished the opposition, and while it might not be over yet, I mean, it's been incredible the dominance that this guy has put on in this race. Even with Dustin Montgomery, I mean, even when he was still in the race, he just wasn't able to stop him. Yeah, unfortunately, Tarbuck is just kind of falling off the bumper of Ethan Lane here, so I don't think he's going to be able to run him down unless Ethan Lane burns up his tires a little bit and Nick Tarbuck is able to have better long-run pace, which I guess is possible, but from what I've seen out of Ethan Lane this race, I don't think it's going to happen as Tom Wetmore gets closer to the bumper of Adam de Blasio now. That's for third. De Blasio sideways off 4, Tarbuck to the inside, or sorry, Wetmore to the inside. A little bit of a side draft as they go to turn 1. And de Blasio hard into the wall. So Wetmore is going to get that spot after de Blasio pounded the wall in the middle of 1 and 2 there. Just got in way too hard. De Blasio back to the inside, ends up not making the move. So now under 30 to go. Alec Daffin now trying to get closer to the bumper of Nick Tarabuck here. Daffin might be going for second. His tires are about 10 laps fresher, but keep in mind they have been spun already once. So they're probably not in the best condition. Could be a fun battle for second, though. Daffin a little higher out of turn 2 there, trying to get the run down the back straightaway. Didn't quite work out for him. Under 30 to go now. At Darlington. The Darlington Raceway, no less. Located in Darlington, South Carolina, 1.3 mile egg-shaped oval. Daffin nearly gets the wall, and they are side by side behind. Sam Nieto going down the inside of de Blasio. They touch coming out of turn 4. Nieto hangs that right rear quarter panel out. They touch again on a turn 1. They crash! Sliding into turn 1. That is surely going to bring out the caution.
Alright, man. Caution is out.
Yellow flag is out. Nieto, de Blasio come together, and that might change everything. I am not sure what Sam Nieto was thinking there, but I guess we'll take a look. Looks like he just got a little slideways off turn 4 there, tagged de Blasio's left rear with his right rear, and that just kind of wrecked him on the straightaway. I think he might have been going for a side draft, but I think he just got a little bit too close there and overstepped the line a little bit. We'll go on to his cockpit camera. Yeah, he was definitely just trying to side draft, and I think de Blasio got a little spooked there, and they ended up coming together, but definitely avoidable and not the best situation to be in. That's going to set us up for another restart with 25 to go. Probably going to be around 22 to go by the time we get the green flag. And this is going to bring everyone down pit road, so tires are reset. It'll be flat out to the finish. Everybody is in. So Ethan Lane brings it in from the lead, overshoots just a little bit. I don't know if that'll cost him the lead, but if it did, that would be interesting. Actually, it might. He overshot a little bit, but it's going to cost him a significant amount of time. And he is going to lose not 1, not 2, but 3 spots coming out of pit road. Wow, Ethan Lane went a little too deep in his box and is going to come out in 3rd. That's going to put Tom Wetmore and Alec Daffin in the lead now. So that really did just change everything. Huh. Okay then. I did not expect to see that coming. But if Ethan Lane wants to close out on his dominant run, then he's gonna need to make up 2 more spots. I did not see that coming. I really did not see that coming. Okay, well, it's gonna be a little different from here on out. We'll see if Ethan Lane can get back the lead, but this... I don't know, it's just so hard to pass here, and I don't think Wetmore and Daffin are too far off his pace, so... I'm not sure. The other thing you gotta consider, I mean, Nick Tarabuck, huge missed opportunity. He could have, in theory, been in the lead, but I think he probably overshot his pit box, I should say, as well a little bit. So missed opportunity for both of these drivers, potentially, but we'll see how it turns out. I believe we are going to get the 2 to green at the very least this time by. Might be 1 to green if we're lucky. So it looks like it is going to be a 20-lap shootout to the finish unless we get another caution. A lot of things to keep an eye out for as we go back green, but namely of which Ethan Lane not going to be restarting from the top spot. Actually, we are on the 1 to green this time by. Tom Wetmore has elected to take the high line. He will be the one leading us back to green. Going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I, for one, am looking forward to it. 21 to go when we get the green flag. Pace car is in, here we go. Fresh tires for the field and some track position to be made up for Ethan Lane. It's setting up for a very interesting finish. Green flag is back in the air and a great launch by Tom Wetmore is going to get him far and away by the time they get to turn 1. Tarabuck and Daffin now side by side for second. Daffin up the track a little bit. Tarabuck going to power through on the outside line. Lane now caught behind Daffin. Daffin not going to fight as they go to turn 3. The top 2 now Wetmore, Tarabuck, and Daffin as they go to turn 3. Daffin sliding through the center of the corner trying to fight back against Lane. But Lane clears on the inside. 2 more spots to be made up for Lane. 1 more for Tarabuck, and Tom Wetmore now in the lead. 20 to go. Whoa, slideways off turn 2. Nick Tarabuck gets a little loose there, and that's going to let Ethan Lane get to his outside by the time they get to turn 3. And that's going to leave Ethan Lane with 1 spot to be made up before the end of this race. And these two have been known to put on a show before. We saw it last time out at New Hampshire. We might just see it again tonight. I think we both know for a fact that neither of these drivers is too afraid to get their elbows out a little bit, to get a little bit dirty fighting for the lead. And it should be very interesting to see how it plays out with 19 laps remaining here at Darlington. Lane is closing in though quite quickly. He's tracking about 2/10 faster this time by. $18 to go. 2/10 of a second faster last time by for Ethan Lane as they go back to turn 1. Ethan Lane is really fast right now. I think he might have a good shot at getting around Tom Wetmore, but I think Wetmore knows that he needs to fight it if he wants to have a shot at the win. Lane to the inside. Side by side as they go to turn 3. Lane can't slide up the track, so Wetmore fights back up top. The advantage Wetmore has is track position. It can be so hard to get the pass done at Darlington, and that is what Ethan Lane needs to do with a lot of quickness. Down to turn 1, Wetmore hangs on to the high side, but Lane is going to power through to the race lead. 17 to go, it's Ethan Lane in control. Now off turn 4, Ethan Lane has the opportunity now to win his 3rd race of the season, but Tom Wetmore has the opportunity to, I believe, take home his 4th. 3 wins on the season already for Tom Wetmore. He wants to add another one to that collection, but you just got to consider that he hasn't had the pace that Ethan Lane has really all race. But with being right behind him now, this could be a good opportunity to Wetmore to start for Wetmore to start taking some notes and trying to learn from Ethan Lane and maybe get back around him. 15 to go. I don't know. I just don't think Wetmore has really the pace it takes to win this race. I think Ethan Lane's just been better than him all race, and despite the fact that he might have some opportunity to learn to pick up some of what Ethan Lane's been doing, I don't know. He's just about a half a tenth off every lap, and I just think that that's going to be too much for him to overcome. 14 to go. Now we'll have to turn our attention to the battle for second to see if Nick Terbuck can maximize his points out of this race. Terbuck to the inside as they go to turn 3. Not going to make the move then. Wetmore getting a little close to that outside wall. The right rear is really hanging out now. It's going to be a big run for Nick Terbuck down the back straightaway as Ethan Lane gets his lead up to 0.7 of a second. Now Terbuck falling off the bumper of Wetmore a little bit last time by. He did run faster, but I think this time by he might be tracking a little slower as he has not been able to make the inroads on Tom Wetmore that he needs to take away second spot in this race. Wetmore, though, almost got in the wall there off turn 4, and that might give Terbuck a bit of a second wind here as he did run almost a full tenth slower last time by. But he might be motivated seeing Tom Wetmore slipping up a little bit. He might have another shot at it here. 11 to go. It'll be 10 when they cross the line. And now Terbuck much faster than Tom Wetmore at the line last time by. Not quite a full tenth faster, but definitely getting up there. 10 to go. We've seen these two battle it out before. I mean, we saw it back at Dover earlier in the season, nose to tail for about 20 straight laps. They might do it again tonight. But unlike last time, it's not for the win, it's for second. Tom Wetmore and Nick Terbuck have proven themselves to be some of the more consistent drivers in the field, despite a bit of a dry spell for Wetmore before his win last week, 2 weeks ago in New Hampshire. Terbuck is there. And here he comes again. He's going to have a big run here off turn number 4. 9 to go. Is he going to go for it? No, he is not. He stays in line for now. Looks on over to the left-hand side. Doesn't make the move. Down the back straightaway, this could be a good shot for Tarbuck. He stays in line for now. Now he's going to have another run. Wetmore holds on, though. Still in front is that number 51 car as the field gets 7 to go. It's been a long race up to this point, but it's going to come down, at least for second, to these last couple of laps. Ethan Lane, though, has cemented himself in the lead. I don't think there's going to be any challenging him, as here comes Tarbuck again down the back straightaway. Over to the left-hand side. This could be the move that Tarbuck needs. Wheel to wheel as they go to turn 3. Wetmore holding on up top. I think he's going to be able to hold on for a little while longer. Side by side as they exit turn 4. A little bit of side draft out of the 4 car now as they get down to turn 1. Tarbuck on the inside. Wetmore able to clear him. It brings Alec Daffin into the picture as well, who moves high, trying to get to the outside of Tarbuck. He'll swing low off turn 2. That failed move out of Tarbuck might give Daffin a chance at 3rd. Not going to do it for now. He stays in line. Wetmore holds on in 2nd. 5 to go at the line. Here comes Tarbuck again. Just not close enough. I think he's got to get a little bit more of a run off turn 2 if he wants to set it up for turn 3, or alternatively get the run off turn 4 to set it up for turn 1. But this time by, he wasn't able to do it. I think Wetmore might just... I don't know. I don't think Tom Wetmore quite has the pace that Nick Tarbuck does, as we saw earlier in the race, but Tom Wetmore has on many occasions demonstrated to have incredible racecraft and an incredible ability to position his car exactly where it needs to be to get a win. But maybe today it could only be for 2nd, and maybe not for that, as Nick Tarbuck is going to go for it again in a 3 and 4. Wetmore up the track. He checked up a little through the middle of the corner, and I think now Nick Tarbuck is going to be able to get into 2nd place. Now Alec Daffin trying to train up on Tom Wetmore down to turn 1. It's a bit of a pinch out of the 48 car, but he is able to make it work. Daffin up to 3rd. So now your top 3, Ethan Lane, Nick Tarbuck, and Alec Daffin. Daffin may be going to try and go for 2nd on Tarbuck, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to go for anything on Ethan Lane, as he has been dominant this entire race. He knows he's almost got this locked up. I mean, he's not running the preferred lane in 3 and 4. He's playing it safe. He doesn't want to choke it away now. 2 to go. Ethan Lane has been in a class of his own all race. And that 26 machine, he's been so good all season. 3 wins so far. Did I get... Actually, it might be... Is it 3? No, it's 2. 2 wins so far on the season. A 3rd if you count Talladega, but not if you go by official scoring. But he's been perfect in this race. He's been perfect almost all season. There's been some execution mistakes along the way. Think back to Dover. Almost think back to Pocono, despite Montgomery not able to get the job done there. I mean, think back to Atlanta. There's been bad luck. Think back to New Hampshire. There's been challenges from friends even. But Ethan Lane today has been perfect. He's been in a class of his own. I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop him. Rounding 3 and 4 now. It'll be win number 3 on the season, coming at one of the most historic tracks on the schedule. Ethan Lane is your winner at Darlington. The checkered flag flies. It's now official. 3rd win on the season for Ethan Lane. So how about it? Ethan Lane dominates in Darlington. An old school race, but maybe not in the way that we anticipated. A completely dominant performance by Ethan Lane is going to cement him as one of the championship favorites, especially with Phoenix being a track that he has been quite good at in the past. But Ethan Lane does win here at Darlington. In a way, it was round 2 after what happened last time out in New Hampshire with the battle with Tom Wetmore. They were able to have another battle tonight. But this time, Wetmore not able to get the better of Ethan Lane. Lane wins it, win 3 on the season, and a job well done for the High Performance Motorsports entry. That number 26 Chevrolet Camaro is going to victory lane and is able to burn it down to the front straightaway. A win to be proud of for Ethan Lane. 3 wins now in the season, 4 times collecting the checkered flag. I think Ethan Lane is proving himself to be a threat to be reckoned with, despite a bit of a disappointing performance last time out in New Hampshire. We're going to go and bring him up into the booth in just a second. Now that I've had my sip of water, let's go and get started on our post-race interviews. And of course, we got to start with your race leader, Ethan Lane. Not race leader, race winner, I should say. Oh, there we go. Ethan, it's Jonathan Oates, TMG broadcast booth. How you feeling, man? Because you dominated in a way that I didn't think was possible. Led almost every lap. You win at Darlington. How you feeling right now?
I'm tired. Oh man, that was hard. Just middle. It was hard, but we're feeling good about the win. It was a long race.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a long race. 184 laps, I think. One of the longest races on the season so far, but you were able to come out on top. I mean, these longer style races, do you enjoy, I guess, the style of racing that it requires, or is it just really tiring?
I enjoy it. The Darlington, it's my favorite racetrack. It's also my home racetrack, so I'm happy to get the win here today. And I knew coming into the day that the track would probably be like really slick over a run, so we kind of just did what we had to do, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did what you had to do, considering you were able to come away with a win. It's now your 3rd on the season, 4th if you count Talladega. I think you're definitely showing yourself to be one of the main championship threats, but of course there's still a lot of other drivers to watch out for. How are you feeling about your own chances going into the playoffs in a couple races' time?
Right now feeling good. If every setup's like that, I mean, we know it's not, but if we can just make it to Phoenix, I think we have a good shot at winning the championship this year.
Yeah, and we saw, by the way, on that last restart, you fell back a little bit. You missed your pit stall, had to restart in 3rd. You were put behind the 8 ball just a little bit, but you were still able to make up those 2 spots, I mean, relatively quickly, despite the fact that Darlington can be one of the hardest tracks to pass on. What are some of the keys to being able to get track position here at this track?
Qualifying is one key. Even though we put it on pole, we messed that up, fell back to like 3rd or 4th early, kind of just rode around and made up ground so we got lead. That last restart, I don't know, we fell back to 4th. We got lucky to pass, I think it was Jacob going into turn 3 on the initial like out lap for that restart, and then we got lucky that Terrabuck got loose off 2, and we were able to just take the outside and get around him, and then it was a fight with Tom for about half a lap, but we got around him.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the race, no one really had anything for you. I think at one point you had a 17-second lead over 2nd place. But we did see for a while there at the beginning, Dustin Montgomery was able to hang with you, and wasn't able to hang with you for long, but still able to hang with you. I mean, do you think that if he was able to stay in contention and stay in the race, do you think he might have had something for you?
Possibly. From what I saw with everyone's line today, it was everyone was ripping the wall through 3 and 4, and kind of not the line anymore. Unfortunately, you kind of want to like just get an arc to the center and get a straight drive off to save that right rear through 3. But I don't know if it may have been different if he was able to stay competitive before he smacked down the wall. But I still feel like we had probably the best car here.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. You had a 17-second lead at one point. You were able to beat Dustin Montgomery when he was on track. A great win for you. It's your 3rd on the season. Anyone that you'd like to give a thank you shout out to?
To Don for putting these races on, for y'all putting on the broadcast. Definitely the most fun race / setup combo / track combo we've done all season. It was fun. Yeah, we shift our focus to Road to Pro this Thursday at Watkins Glen.
All right, man. Well, good luck in Road to Pro, and congratulations on your win. I'm going to go ahead and send you back.
Thank you.
And that was Ethan Lane, driver of the 26, able to come away with his 3rd win on the season. The driver that he was able to beat to do that, Nick Terrabuck. We're going to go ahead and bring him up now. Nick, it's Jonathan Oates, TMG broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm going to be honest, I did not expect what I saw out of you today. I mean, on the long runs, you were able to fight your way all the way up in a second. You had a great strategy. You definitely were probably a lock for the top 5 if the race went green. But then at the end, you got set back a little bit, had to fight with Tom Wetmore to try and get up to 2nd. You weren't really able to be there with Ethan Lane, but do you think that if you were able to get there within those last 10 laps, do you think you might have been able to get around him or at least have something for him?
Yeah, I would have loved to, race him hard, try to get the win, but I'll be honest, I was just happy to do better than I did last time we came here to Darlington. I burnt the tires off way too early last time, and I did that every run, so I really focused on the long run this time and trying not to slide it into 3, and it seemed to have paid off. So now I don't know if I could have passed Ethan, but I would have liked to go for a little battle for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely paid off. You were incredibly fast on the long runs. I think on pace you were able to get up to second. So definitely a good combination of strategy, long run pace. But in the end, you weren't able to get a win, and unfortunately that's kind of been the story all season. You're winless so far, about 6 races left until the playoffs. What do you think that missing piece is between you and your first checkered flag of the season?
Probably just practice time. I mean, I can get in here and run for an hour or so and get used to it and get pretty quick, but I just don't have that practice to be real confident with how the car handles throughout the run, so I think that kind of ruins it for me. Just don't have the time to practice as much, but if I ever do, better watch out.
Yeah, and at the moment, you are currently the highest driver in points by a huge margin that does not have a win yet on the season. I mean, do you think that's a bit of a statement to make to everyone else going into the playoffs pretty soon that you might be a driver they might have to look out for come Phoenix?
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, I personally don't know if I or really anybody has anything for Ethan when it comes down to the playoffs times, just how it's been going this season. But I would definitely love to be in the mix for the top 4 this time around. I think I've missed that every year. Usually by the last race before the top 4, I end up getting dropped out for whatever reason. So I'd love to do that. I'd love to go to Bristol again, get another win there. I'm usually pretty decent there. But all in all, I can't complain at all. It's been a great season so far. I've been having fun.
Yeah, I mean, you talk a little bit about practice time and trying to get that first win. You mentioned Bristol, but looking at the upcoming races at Watkins Glen, Indy Road, Michigan, Daytona, Richmond, Bristol, I mean, there's a huge variety of tracks, but is there anything there that kind of stands out to you as something that you might be able to go out there and get a win at?
Well, I'd love to get a win at Daytona. I mean, it's hard. That is part of the schedule, right? Coming up, you said?
Yeah, Daytona is going to be on August 30th this year. I don't know why I had to specify that.
Race, I think. Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be awesome to get a win there just because, it's Daytona. Otherwise, it's really just a matter of consistency, see if I can keep the car clean for a long run, and nothing really stands out to me too much, man. I just show up and do the best I can every week, so...
Yeah, and I mean, the best you could today was a P2, a great job, a great effort by you, a great finish. Anyone that you'd like to thank for the result?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that was watching, Josh, Tate, Parker. I don't know who even watches these anymore. My family probably tuned in. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to Don for hosting and having the league. And I do want to do a little shameless plug. Please, come out and race. Got to get these field counts up. We're offering free money still. So come on now.
Yeah, free money to anyone interested. So I think we went over that in last week's broadcast, but there is a Facebook group. I think it's just called something like Integrity Racing League. You can join that, and I believe you can sign up from there. So if you'd like to join, I think they're still open to new members. So if anyone watching would like to join, go ahead, join on in. You get a TMG broadcast. I don't know if that means anything to you, but if it does, then there you go. Well, congratulations, Nick, on your second place finish. I'm going to go and send you back.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too. And that was Nick Tarabuk, driver of the 4, came home in second after a hard-fought race. Incredible performance by him. Next up, Alec Daffin, P3. Alec, it was an off week for you last time out in New Hampshire, but you were able to come back tonight, secure a third-place finish despite quite a bit of adversity. How you feeling right now?
Feeling good. I mean, I was doing a lot of personal stuff, as you might have known, but yeah, it was a good run for sure. I mean, it was nice to get another podium.
Yeah, definitely a good finish for you tonight, but we saw throughout the race, I mean, your right rear tire it always looked like it was quite a bit further out than your right front. You were really sliding it into the corners, but you were still able to keep up that pace over the long runs quite a bit. How are you able to get that car so kind of slid out, but still kept the car pointed straight?
I mean, I was taking it pretty easy the first run. I felt like I was burning up the right front more. I was running a 14 once during the show. I usually run a 16, but figured just out the car, keep it under me on the long run, not hit the wall or whatever on the straightaway. We're in a 14, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It was interesting. I mean, I don't know. we just kept under me. I mean, I usually am pretty tight, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and right now, in terms of the playoff picture, you are pretty safely into the playoffs. Second highest driver without a win in the playoff standings. But, I mean, just talking about that win, you've come close a couple of times, and you definitely had a lot of good runs, but still winless in that column. Are there any tracks that you can look at that are coming up soon? Maybe Watkins Glen, Indy Road, Michigan, Daytona, Richmond, Bristol, anything like that? Any tracks that kind of stand out to you as a good opportunity to go get that first win of the season?
Road courses are good for top fives, but I mean, probably of all the tracks left in the regular season, probably Richmond. I mean, obviously, I'm okay at Michigan, but if things go right, I mean, I could win anywhere, but say overall, probably Richmond is the best.
All right, well, definitely something to look forward to, Alec. A very good run for you tonight puts you P3. Anyone that you'd like to give a shout-out to?
Got to thank Black Designs, Pro Power and Paint, thank Dawn for running the league, thank all you at TMG Network, and yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on your third place finish. We're going to go ahead and send you back.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And that was Alec Daffin, driver of the number 48, came home in third, a very hard-fought race tonight. So well done to him. 184 laps, it comes down to only 9 finishers, a race of attrition, and Ethan Lane coming out on top. He says it's his favorite. He said it's his favorite car track combo, and I think that definitely showed. A dominant run tonight gets him his third win on the season. But as for us, that is going to do it for coverage of tonight's race. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. But until next week when the Integrity Racing League takes on Watkins